All right, good afternoon. They got these bright lights on me, so I can't see who's out there, but they tell me there's quite a lot of you. And it is a pleasure to be here today just to share my insights on just my perspective on service. And I know that the bigger part, too, here is self. Because without strength of self, I don't think you can have strength of service. So thank you very much. And you're probably wondering, my gosh, we've seen every service come up here so far, and they've been flag and general officers. We do have flag officers in the Coast Guard. Please let me promise you that. And we have female flag officers in the Coast Guard. That being said, I would like to say maybe it was sequestration, but the better part of it is actually our female flag officers are in the field commanding, and that's neat to see and neat to use as a model. And we have a female 06 that's getting ready to put on her first set of stars. So that being said, I know that I am in austere company, and it is a humble honor to be here today. So I first have to do a couple of shout-outs. How many Coast Guard? Now we're talking, why do they got baby in the back? What is that about? Hey now. All right, how about Navy? Of course, I will offer, my sister was a Navy corpsman, near and dear to my heart. And then how about Marines? There you go, now we're talking. And I am married to a Marine. And how many military spouses? That's right, absolutely, absolutely. So my other shout out here, you say, what about Air Force and what about Army? I'm told this is what, our second, third year in a row? Are you out there, Air Force, Army? Okay, I don't have a family connection, but before I got married, I dated a couple. Not concurrently, of course, so I want to set the record straight. All right, so here we go. I have the esteemed privilege and honor to be on detail at the White House working for the Vice President as his Homeland Security and Counterterrorism Special Advisor. So, excuse the terminology, but I am all things disasters, diseases, and assholes. So, that being said, I work for an incredible boss. He's lots of fun and dynamic. That being said, because I work for the White House, I was obligated by our legal counsel to say, what follows is my personal perspective, not the official position of the White House, the Office of the Vice President, the Department of Homeland Security, or the United States Coast Guard. Check. So let's get down to business. All right, so now you have me, and you're like, really? Come on. So stronger self, let's talk about what stronger self means to me. And I've learned throughout this that first and foremost, it means being a woman. And frequently we try and match and meet cultural norms and mores that were defined by men in an organization that is dominated by men. And so the first lesson that I learned was to say, it's okay to be a woman in this service. And it's okay for you to be a woman in your service. I'm not going to define for you what that means, but I will tell you what it has meant for me along the way. So, I had come into the United States Coast Guard. My first tour of duty is the Coast Guard cutter Medalist out of Governor's Island. I go in and my ship isn't there, and I've just come out of 17 weeks of officer candidate school, barely know how to salute. I'm walking around, I'm eager. I thought officer candidate school was like cheerleading camp. It was really cool. And so I go to the exchange and all these neat little things they talk about, the commissary, the credit union, and they say, so where are you going? Oh, I'm waiting for my ship. And they're like, what ship? The cutter Dallas. And they're like, we're sorry. And you're like, oh, crud, what have I done? First day I report aboard, ship ties up, I come aboard, I'm all excited, and I walk in, and my first experience, quite literally, and this is in 1990, my first experiences with my soon-to-be operations officer was, I hate women, stay the F out of my way. So you're like, okay, and in the Coast Guard we have this thing called the first 72 hours. Well, that was blowing right in the first 5 minutes. I walk down, and they say, you need to go to the ship's office and check in. I walk down, I walk past the chief's mess, and again, I'm like, all right, so maybe he's just having a bad day. I'm going to put my best foot forward. And I walk to the ship's office, and a chief bosun mate walks out of the chief's mess and says, nice, ensign, nice smile. We'll have it wiped off your face by the end of the day. So, needless to say, what's the lesson here? Do not ever let your first tour define your career. Do not make your decisions based on your first tour. You will meet challenges, you will embrace those challenges, and you will overcome those challenges. So, I was told that I shouldn't refer to myself as Patty, but to be taken seriously, I should be Patricia. I was told not to giggle. I haven't changed that. I was told to wear Dockers because that was more appropriate. And I was told that in order to be in this organization, I needed to look and be more like a man. Well, I said, it's kind of hard. I'm 5'3" 3/4. I got blue eyes, blonde hair. My voice is kind of high. So I recognized early on that that's not how it was going to work for me. And so I encourage you to remind yourself that when you feel pushed into that, that round peg pushed into the square hole, or the square hole pushed in the round peg, you define that term. So recognize that, again, what it means to be a female or a woman in this service sometimes is something that you're going to have to tweak. I would say one of the things that has been important to me on the Strength of Self is to have an outlet, and have an appropriate outlet, something to normalize yourself. You know, when I first did this, I have to be frank, I said my dogs, my family, my friends, those were my outlets. And someone was like, hey, what about your husband? And I'm like, yeah, in the past 4 years, I've seen my husband all of 10 months. He's been deployed back-to-back tours in Afghanistan now over the past 3 years. So I would say in those, and for you military spouses who have husbands and also that have wives that are deployed, you recognize that the support is you to them, less them to you when you're here in CONUS. So have that outlet. Make sure you're PTing, because that really makes a difference for me. It helps. I tell you, I'm 47 years old. When I hit 45, it started to slow down, and having a good routine will help you sustain yourself and just stay healthy. I would offer you to be approachable, but set boundaries. Choose the people around you wisely. Exercise good judgment. There will be people throughout your career that will be the most amazingly influential and helpful people. There will be people, though, that for whatever reason want to take down your temple. So preserve that and choose wisely. Do not write checks personally that you cannot cash professionally. In today's service, there quite literally is no such thing as overdraft protection. Today's service is about downsizing, so do what you can to police your space and set yourself up for success. And I had another one, but probably was not the most appropriate, so I'll skip that and go on to keep learning and investing yourself on the professional front and the personal front. Know opportunities and seize those opportunities. A lot of times people come through and they'll say, oh, I'm getting out because I just really don't feel fulfilled. They really didn't give me any opportunities. And I have to look back, and I look back at my career. I came in with an average GPA. It took me 3 times to get into officer candidate school. It took me 2 times to get command, but I had command. I kept pushing. I kept persevering. It took me, I think, 3 times. I'm like a threefer. It took me 3 times to get to law school. Fortunately, only 1 time to pass the California State Bar. So, success was there. And I'll be frank. So the job that I'm currently in, I looked at the guy that was leaving. The guy that was leaving was a flag select, and I'm like, I needed that 1-year billet to right-size my career tour length with my husband's when he was coming back from Afghanistan. And I had promoted to 06. They were moving me out of my assignment. And so they said, so I needed this 1-year tour. And I said, what do I do? What do I do? And so I actually called, I think Commander Kirsten Martin, I'm giving her a shout out. I think she's in the crowd there. I called her husband. And I said, hey, this job here that's at the White House, who do they normally pick for that? Because it's a flag select leaving, and I just put on 06. And he's like, put your name in the hat. Put your name in the hat and see what happens. And lo and behold, here I am today and having the time of my life. There are opportunities that abound out there, opportunities to serve your country in ways that you don't even know or understand. Find those opportunities out. Listen to those people that will show you the way to them and seize them. I would encourage you wholeheartedly. There is no more incredible feeling than being in command of a ship that's reaching out and has a small boat out and pulling lives from the sea. There is no more fulfilling and amazing experience than landing in a foreign nation on a plane that says United States of America, and I've had that opportunity. I've had the opportunity to influence legislation that ultimately made lives safer, made boarding operations safer for our boarding teams operating in the Caribbean and the Eastern Pacific. So these things that you would not know about to seize, do that. Go out and test the boundaries on not just what is the normal career path, but somewhat outside. I've had a tour in congressional affairs, I've had a tour at the White House, and they've really helped me frame my point of reference as to what my service is about and how we fit into the bigger, broader picture. And I would encourage that of you. All that being said, I think I only have 5 minutes, and I think I'm probably close to running out. So I will leave you all with these sort of words of wisdom. Again, the good thing about what people say is it's either advice or opinion, and you get the option to choose whether or not you want to listen and choose whether or not you want to embrace it. The thing I would encourage is at least listening and looking and hearing other people's insights. It has been so helpful to me. I will only say here, don't waste time or space in negative places. Life truly is way too short. The services aren't perfect, but I will say that they're actually pretty amazing. I have been and enjoyed numerous things. I've tried to go to work every day and do my best. Most of the time, I think I've met with success, and every now and then I fail. And when you fail, you have to learn how to accept and embrace that, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move on. One of the key cornerstones of my career has been the people around me. And so I would encourage you as you progress to take care of those people, and that means all your people, your boss, your peers, your juniors, and most importantly, take care of you. I firmly believe that being a good leader first and foremost means you have to be a good follower. It means you have to know how to invest in yourself and invest in others. You have to know how to embolden and trust and empower. You have to lead others to opportunity and to their success. My husband is fond of saying that there are two types of people. There are those who find success on the backs of others, and those who find success by elevating others. I would encourage and ask that you be in the latter camp. So, I end with have fun. If you have the day where you stop having fun, ask why. Fix it and cut bait. When I look back on my career, I know I've had an incredibly fun time. I would say that I started out with that being my premise. I would stay as long as I had fun and as long as I felt valued. And hey, I gotta say, I'm still here. What we do is amazing. But don't kid yourself, it truly isn't for everybody, and not everybody can do it. But we do it. And I'll be frank, I have absolutely no idea what my future holds, where I'll be in a year, but for the last 23 years, it's been a blast. I've been honored to meet and serve the most amazing people coming together and doing the mission and accomplishing things that I never thought possible. Saving lives, protecting and defending the homeland, and advancing the American way. And I'll be frank, it doesn't take me a beer or anything like that to say it don't get more better. These people, my shipmates, my family, and my friends have all been elemental to my success. I wish you all the very best in your personal and professional journeys, and it is that. We are only in this day once. Make the most of it. Thank you.